Last time on Dragon Ball V. Training with Vegeta, Cabba began his journey in honing the power of Super Saiyan God. The prince would push his underling to his limits and beyond. Though not knowing why, something tells him the Tuffles of this universe are going to be a big problem for the Saiyans. At the same time, aforementioned Tuffles begin the invasion of planet Gardenia under the guise of the Saiyans themselves, when Oren and Kamin are approached by a mysterious figure offering his assistance. This is part 5 of an ongoing series. Catch up fully using the link in the description. The Tuffles' mysterious machine now fixed. The alien believes they can actually improve this device in just about every way imaginable, if they're interested, that is. However, Oren and Kamin are apprehensive. They know good and well this guy wouldn't be doing this just out of the kindness of his heart. So what's the catch? This prompts the alien to lay it out plain and simple. All he really wants is revenge, and the two of them have partially given it to him already. But a Gardenian that hates the Saiyans is needed for his full plan. If they could bring him one, he thinks he could help immensely. Besides, they Techians have a lot in common with the Tuffles. They too harvested planets for resources before being driven to near extinction on this planet. This confirms the alien before us to be the same race as Gyur, Harbel's wife. This also tells us this individual somehow knows Oren and Kamin are really Tuffles possessing Saiyan bodies. Kamin isn't falling for his little speech and doubles down they are nothing alike. If this creature believes he knows them, he's mistaken. Though Oren has to refer back to that shockwave from the previous chapter. He asks his sister if she thinks planet Sadala was destroyed. That might put a dent in their plans. And that is possible, but a shockwave like that seems too big to be a measly planetary explosion. The Tech grows a sinister look on his face. He has studied the Saiyan ships. They all appear to share an artificial intelligence network for communication and security purposes. If he can get a hold of the AI, he can use the security systems to check on Sadala for him. The Faux King wants to know that if he's referring to that annoying robot on their ship, they managed to shut it down. But if they were able to use that technology to their advantage, she wants to know what he can do. And with a flick of the wrist, it's done. Able to tap into the network, it begins to project video from the Saiyan homeworld. The Tuffle takes special interest in Vegeta. In fact, the entire room seems to react. The king turns to the Tech to demand all the footage available of planet Sadala immediately. At the same time, Tarragon and the other Gardenians flee from a group of Saiyan spacecraft, Tarragon himself having to get in a quick I told you so. His grandfather then rushes outside to see what's going on. His grandson tells him it's the Saiyans! They've betrayed him! He knew this would happen and now they're all under attack! But his elder argues there must be a reason for this. And whatever that may be, Tarragon plans on fighting back. As one of the Saiyans nearby grabs a hold of Rosemary. Mind you, these invading Saiyans are only doing so under the king's order. Other than that, they are no different from the other peaceful Saiyans of Universe 6. The aggressor turns to his comrades to comment something doesn't feel right about this. When Tarragon screams he take his hands off her. However, he is effortlessly dealt with by the Saiyan. The native warrior tries to regain his composure. He stutters that the Saiyans are all monsters. The Gardenians trusted him. What they've done will not be forgiven. One of them attempts to reason with him with the promise they can talk this out. They're only following orders. When the Tarragon appears to ascend to an almost Super Saiyan-like state, Rosemary sees this as the perfect distraction to escape the reach of her captors. And her friend tells the invaders he is done talking. Gazing back at him, the opposing battalion are at a loss of what to do. They know this isn't good, but warn the lone warrior to not think they won't be fighting back. But the Tarragon informs he won't be repeating himself again. He's done talking. Getting laid out, a soldier contacts King Sadala to plead they need help. Inside the nearby home, Rosemary questions Oregano what's happened to Tarragon. He definitely isn't his normal self. The Elder explains how he's become a godly Gardenian. He has absorbed a massive amount of energy from the sun, but the longer he uses it, the more dehydrated he becomes. This form will eventually cause him to literally burn away. Alongside the pair, the other workers from the dock also take shelter. The one called Sage can't believe the Saiyans have turned on him. They should have listened to Tarragon. Time suggests they find a place away from here to hide. If they don't, they're toast. When the old-timer mentions how he heard one of the Saiyans saying something wasn't right, surely the answers will be revealed soon. Arriving, King Sadala, or rather Kamin, who's possessing the king, shouts from above that this man is no ordinary Gardenian. He must really hate the Saiyans after all of this. As the Tuffle realizes, his other has strategically placed himself in front of that little house. Kamin menacingly asks if he's trying to protect someone in there. She doesn't hesitate in obliterating the shelter and all inside. You monster! But before the Gardenian can ever reach the king, Regano's words come true and the warrior burns up and collapses. The Tuffle picks him up chuckling he'll be more useful alive. Though, lucky for Tarragon's loved ones, they managed to escape before Kamin ever launched her blast. Now under the surface, Bay inquires if the old man is convinced now. And ironically, he's not, but does think they should lay low for a while. Regrouping back near the machine, Oren informs they've reviewed all the footage from Sadala and the situation has definitely changed. The king tosses his victim to the ground. Their Tech ally is frantic to see this native appears to have transformed and burned out, but he is still alive. Knowing this transformative power well, this is exactly what they need. Kamin tells he can do whatever he wants with them, but remember, he works for them now. This reminder is well understood when the king's brother informs they've tested the machine in her absence. Then inquiring if she remembers that scientist who was hired to program the two of them. He kept his blood and did a little programming himself. He's going to Sadala to test the machine's effectiveness. That way, they don't lose a perfectly good Tuffle. This further reveals the intended use of this machine. The twins plan to revive their race here on Gardenia. Looking over to Plum, the king utters the aforementioned scientist has his orders, and for him to leave now. He won't need a ship with his new body, but if he doesn't manage to eliminate that Vegeta guy, don't bother coming back. Who takes off without a single word. Kamin blatantly blurts out she doesn't trust that puppet. This machine should only be used to revive Tuffles. They themselves are the superior power in this universe. Then thinking, Vegeta has already pushed the Saiyans' power to greater heights, but whether that power is worth the Tuffles' time is another question. But she knows exactly who they need. On a distant world. The assassin known as Hit gets an order to make some donuts. What the frick am I doing? Sorry, we're experiencing technical difficulties. Our scheduled programming will return shortly. While it would take the scientists an entire 2 days, he eventually reached planet Sadala. His presence isn't lost on the prince. Gazing towards the sky, it looks like he has some company. Back on Gardenia, the Tech alerts the others it appears Plum has arrived on Sadala. With this, Oren wants to confirm the machine's working properly. And it is. Plum is every bit, if not more powerful than the inquiring Tuffle himself. Now they'll know what they're dealing with. All the stuff that Vegeta said about the Saiyans' ability to evolve through battle. Not to mention that power he revealed. They aren't dealing with the same Vegeta they saw on GodTube, referring to the Universe 6 and 7 tournament. Kamin believes it seems battle is even more intoxicating to the Saiyans than to the Tuffles. She wants to see how this guy does. He may be as strong as they, but doesn't think he has their love of battle. Little does she know, they're about to find out very differently. Vegeta asks the figure who they are and what they want. Plum reveals, as a matter of fact, he's come for the prince actually, and he's sorry to say. But he's a dead man. With not only Plum being sent to gauge the strength of Vegeta, but the assassin hid as well. What will the Tuffles discover about their foe they don't already know? And with the Saiyan's vast newfound strength since the previous battle, will he be able to make easy work of the assassin? Or will we have yet another repeat of history?